Hi, my name is Brian Werbers, and I'm going to be doing a review of the course syllabus for NUR305, Cultural, Spiritual, and Ethical Dimensions of Holistic Care. I will also create a video for a course overview looking at the LMS. But on this one, we're just going to go through the syllabus. So this is me. This is how you can contact me via email, office phone number, cell phone. Be aware that my office phone does ring into my cell phone, so if you call it at, say, midnight, it will roll over to my cell phone, and I might answer it when you don't expect me to. Otherwise, my office is in 220B. I really don't expect to be there very much this summer, but if you want to meet anytime, we can schedule an appointment to meet, and my office is a good spot for that. So for this course, we're going to promote an awareness of one's own clinical, spiritual, and ethical beliefs, and how those beliefs are going to impact your nursing care of other people. So the purpose of the course is to explore the interface between cultural and spiritual beliefs and the practice of nursing. Differences in cultural healthcare beliefs and practices of individuals and groups will be explored. So students will also explore spiritual approaches to assessment and intervention in relation to the spiritual needs of those experiencing health problems, ethical components, including ethical decision-making within a nursing framework, and the major ethical schools of thought. This course is generally taught by nursing faculty, and it's generally taught to nursing students, but this is open to students, throughout the USF campus and even, I suppose, broader. This is a diverse modality course. For us, it's going to be mostly online, or it will be all online. But we can meet in person if you ever want to ask questions or do something like that. Learning outcomes. So I'll let you read through these fun things, but we're going to talk about culture, health, illness, wellness, healing, and those kind of things using a nursing theoretical perspective. We'll look at growth and personal awareness regarding cultural, spiritual, and ethical issues, and apply that content into clinical practice. We're also going to look at clinical judgment models in spiritual sensitive manner and performing cultural and spiritual assessments. We're going to discuss the role spirituality and ethics play in the process of moral reasoning. We'll look at the holistic ideal of body-spirit connection as it relates to nursing care and, the role that the nurse has in caring for patients. We're going to look at the meaning of autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, veracity, confidentiality, justice, and fidelity. You should really know all these terms if you're going to be a nurse. They're pivotal and paramount to what you will be doing. We'll discuss personal disciplines that will support ethical, emotional, spiritual, and professional growth. And then we're going to synthesize cultural, spiritual, and ethical related to a chosen ethical issue, and that will be your big presentation at the end. This class does count for intercultural awareness, and within this we were going to be identifying how cultural practices reflect a particular culture's perspective, and we're going to compare and contrast products, practices, and perspectives of other cultures with those of the culture that they identify with as their own. So within this you will hear about some other cultures, and you will hopefully get to learn maybe a little bit more about your culture. Our mission, goals, and expected student outcomes can all be found at this link right here. If you have any questions, just click on it and follow it. Theoretical basis, this is why we do what we do for all of our nursing classes. This is our essentials that we have to do for our accreditation. This is their student competency tracker that all of our nursing students have to do to prove that you've done the 240 competencies that our accrediting body wants you to do. Required resources, nothing is mandatory. So you do have to write some stuff in APA and use citations and references in APA, and I expect that especially in your forum posts. But you do not have to buy the book as long as you've got other resources. Purnell, this is available at the Wagner Library or on Course Reserve at the Mears Library on campus, so you can access that. So you do not have to buy this book, and last I heard it was kind of an expensive book. So I do not want you to buy anything. If you can't have access to this, please let me know. Teaching methodology, I'm going to do lots of different things. Everybody learns a little bit different, so I will be doing lots of different things. You'll have a virtual sim, you're going to have forum posts, you're going to have some assignments, you're going to have some hopefully fun assignments that you get to do so you can learn about yourself and learn about different cultures and different aspects of ethics. Evaluation, so as we get down to it, we're going to have some class participation, professionalism points from the different learning modules that you have to do. These will all be in soft chalk modules. You'll have some assignments that you have to do, and that's going to be 50% of your grade. So 50% of the grade are things that you'll turn in and hand in. You will have 10% of your grade for doing an online course, so to speak. It's a culturally and linguistically appropriate service in nursing, so this is an online thing that you will take, and they will give you a certificate once you complete these 4 courses. Once you complete that, print off that certificate, add it to your portfolio. It's kind of a nice feather in your cap saying that you've taken this, and you can show it to prospective employers. Also, for those that will be taking professional issues in healthcare, probably for most of you this coming spring, it'll be a nice thing to add to your portfolio. Final presentation, you got your presentation, and that's going to be 40%. 75% of that 40% is going to be your presentation, and then you do have to have peer constructive feedback, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. For the nursing students, you do need to do a completion of student competency tracker. That's going to be pass or fail, and I'll show you that below. And then for this course, we are going to be doing a completion of USF personal health and well-being for all students. Grading, this is how the course will be graded. As a reminder, for nursing students, you need a B- to pass this class and advance within the nursing program. Responsibilities, I expect you to do the homework. I expect you to read some stuff. I expect you to turn in the stuff on time. For your big formal stuff, put it in an APA format. So bigger papers, assignments, and stuff like that needs to be written in a paragraph form and not just bullet pointed. Learning modules, do learning modules in the soft chalk, and you'll get points for those. The learning modules are available for practice under the resources tab, but they're underneath the coursework section is where the one that will be graded is at. There will be a couple of online quizzes for you to complete. I do expect that this is an online course that you will have some netiquette and treat others with respect. That's a huge part of this course. We are going to be talking about sometimes sensitive things related to culture, ethics, and spirituality. And so I completely expect you to be, not that you have to agree with everybody, but you have to be nice to everybody, if that makes sense. If you have any questions about things, please let me know. Here's some basic guidelines if you want some more details about that. Class participation, professionalism, once again, you have to be putting in the work. You have to be submitting assignments. You have to be responding to other people. And I want you to do that in a professional manner. Late assignments, you can have a comfort pass. You get 2 of those. Those have to be in by 7:20. So if you're going to be late on one of your assignments, just shoot me an email, let me know before the due date, and I will grant you 1 week, probably just automatically, no questions asked. If you are having special needs or some emergency comes up, email me, let me know as soon as you can, and we'll take those case-by-case situations as a case-by-case. Artificial intelligence. I do not want you using AI in this course. Some of my courses I'm fine with it. This one I am not. The reason is I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your culture. I want to know your beliefs on your spirituality, not AI's. So this is going to be some reflection on your behalf. If I see that you are using AI, if I run it through a checker, you will get a 0 assigned for that assignment if it correlates that you've cheated or used AI. Most of these assignments are not overly big or overly complex, so I want you to use your brain, and I want you to use your thoughts and your beliefs and your emotions, and I want you to have some reflection on that. A lot of this course is for you to contemplate what you think. What do you believe? And in doing so, you'll have a better understanding how to care for others, because you'll know yourself. Policy and procedures. Here's our academic honesty and integrity. Please don't cheat. If you are cheating, then consequences will happen. If you want to know more about that, you can look at the student handbook. Copyright, once again, don't plagiarize. Cite your sources, reference your materials. For compliance with the ADA Act, if this applies to you, talk to our Academic Success Center and talk with them and arrange those special requests through them, and I'm happy to accommodate those. USF Academic Success Center Writing Center, if you have any problems, they can help out. If you have problems with writing or math or any other things like that, we're not going to have any math in this course, but feel free to use them. They're a great resource, and I strongly recommend that you contact them if you need them. Health and safety, there is a health and safety page. If you have any concerns about your physical or mental wellness, feel free to visit that. We also have counseling services on campus. There's Cooper Cupboard, and other things to help you out with your physical and mental wellness. Program assessment, I will take some feedback from this course and try to improve it. Every semester I like to try and get better. If you have any suggestions for me, you can wait till this assessment comes out, or you can just contact me and let me know, hey, I think that this might be a better way to do this. Course of the syllabus, this hopefully is the last rendition of it. This is slightly changed from what I sent you earlier via email, so make sure that you drop that one and start this one. Not significant changes on that, but just some of the titles have changed as I upgraded some of the assignments. So looking at the course schedule, you're going to be noticing that we're going to be doing 2 modules every week. This is the video course introduction, so you need to watch this, which you are currently doing. We'll talk about spirituality and nursing presence. We're going to talk about transcendent moments. I want you to take a syllabus quiz, so covering the things that we've talked about now, just to prove that you have reviewed this and that you understand what's going to be expected of you. There's a forum post for this week, spiritual roots quiz, and then there's a soft chalk module and another forum post. And then if you get a chance, look at this Pachowski's tool, because we'll be using it next week. I am going to have all this stuff open for you. You can work forward in this. I know summer is a busy time, and so I'm going to let you, work forward as you want. And I would strongly advise that. That way you can have 4th of July weekend off or other things like that. So just make sure that you get the stuff done by these due times. But by all means, you can work forward and get them done sooner. All right, next week we're going to be talking about assessment and addressing spiritual needs of a patient, which you're going to use Pachowski's. We'll also talk about basics of moral reasoning and bioethical ethics. So here's your assignments due. So soft chalk module, using the FICA tool. APA is not required for this one. We'll use a spiritual assessment quiz and then a learning module. For the next one, we're going to be talking about Code of Ethics. So within this, there's a Nursing Code of Ethics module with discussing the ANA provisions forum. So we're going to be kind of watching some different videos on the provisions, and then I want you to comment on it. Like, what would you do in these situations? Within healthcare, we are faced with some very interesting situations sometimes. And so you need to kind of think through some of the stuff, and what are you going to do based on some of these different situations. And sometimes if you can think through it and have a plan in advance, that does help out. I also want you to watch some movies. Concussion is one of these. So you can rent it, you can pull it off Netflix. I think our libraries have it, or the Sioux Falls Public Libraries will have it. But I want you to watch the movie. You can do it up to groups of 4 people. And then there's a write-up that you have to do on it. For the next week, so we're going to be talking about diversity in healthcare, theoretical foundations, cultural competencies, cultural care theories, and so it's going to be more theoretical on culture. So we'll talk about why it matters. We're going to do, so you've got a posting on that one, you've got a self-assessment, which APA is not required again on this one, but make sure you sit down and take the time on this one. Within this one, I just grade it that you did it or you didn't do it. So I am not casting any judgments on anybody on this one. So be honest and open with this one. And then here's starting that CLAS standards. So course 1 is due here. If you want, you can race through all 4 of these courses, go back to back to back in one day, and then submit it and just be done with it, but that's up to you. Got some additional reading just to broaden your mind and expand you a little bit. We will talk about health disparities a bit. So got some readings here as well as learning modules, forum post. Once again, you get to do course 2 and turn that in, and then there will be a quiz over this content. Moving on to the next week, perspectives in nursing, global health, and organizational cultural competency. So, how do we think about health on a global scale? So, watch Extremis. This is on Netflix. If you don't have it, sign up for a free month or talk to a friend. You can watch it as a great big group if you want to. If you have any problems with this or are unable to get this, please let me know. You can watch it in a big group. I do want you to post individually on this one. So that's the forum here for that you're going to post on. There's a global health learning forum. So once again, another forum post. And then course 3 of the class with some additional readings here. There are some cultural competency care forums, quizzes, and class 4 for this week. Then moving into module 13 and 14, we're talking about cultural journey, talking about death, end-of-life care, and that's kind of an interesting thing. So just be aware that this week might be a little rough. It's talking about some sensitive things as we're talking about death and dying. So just plan for that a little bit as we're talking about end-of-life care. Yes, within this, you've got a forum post. You're going to have a quiz. You'll have a cultural journey. Cultural journey, I think, is a cool thing. I want you to push your boundaries a little bit and go out to into an environment in which there's a different culture. This could be eating at a restaurant in which you've never eaten at before, and there's lots of suggestions within this assignment. Maybe you've never had sushi. Now's the time. Maybe you've never had Indian food. Now's the time. So there's lots of different opportunities for this one. If you have any questions on this, please let me know. This is not going to Olive Garden to get Italian. This is like a true cultural experience. I want you to go to a place where they maybe are speaking a different language. So, yeah, hamburgers don't count for American. Taco Bell does not count for Mexican or Hispanic culture. I would accept like Incas, or there's some great Guatemalan food around town. There's, you can go to, there's cultural fairs. There are European grocery stores. There are Chinese grocery stores, Hispanic grocery stores. Any of that stuff would count. So if you have any questions on it, please contact me. But I want you to push your boundary, and I want you to go into an environment in which you haven't. So in your write-ups, please do not be like, oh, I love this restaurant. I go here all the time. That's not pushing your boundaries. I want you to try something new and do something new. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Like I said, you can go to a grocery store and maybe pick up a pack of gum or whatever. But look around and see what's available. And take a look at, through your the eyes of healthcare. So if you're going into these grocery stores, what meds are they offering? What herbal things are they offering? Et cetera, et cetera. So it should be a fun cultural journey. You do have to do an individual write-up with this one and an individual post, but if you want to go out as a group, I am fine with that. You will have a USF personal health and well-being. Once again, you can do this one pretty early, but it is due on 7/13. The big presentation here is due on 7/20. I do want you to, if you're going to do this within a group, you can do it individually or up into a group of 4 students. That being said, underneath some of the forum posts, you need to say who your group is and what topic you are going to use. I want you to do that within the next week, please. There's lots of, this is really disseminated really well. If you look underneath the assignment, you're going to see all the different things you have to cover. But it's going to be a ethical topic, so like abortion within the Hispanic culture, something like that. So you're going to see an ethical aspect of it, but you're going to have it through the lens of a specific culture. And how do they see this? APA is required on this one. You do have to make some kind of video and present it, often like a PowerPoint presentation, and then upload it. You'll also be graded on providing constructive feedback. So you need to do 2 responses to everybody, or not to everybody, but you'll have to do 2 responses to other people's groups that is going to be constructive criticism with this. So did they speak clearly? Do they need to speak louder? Do they need to slow down? How was their presentation? Did they have enough pictures? Did they have enough citations? By constructive feedback, I want you to give them some guidance, so if they were to present this again, or for any future presentation that they have, that they can do better. This isn't, you're stupid, you are dumb, you should have done it like this. It's, hey, you did a great job with this. I had a hard time hearing you on some of these points, so please, speak louder, speak more into the mic, etc., etc. And then feedback is going to be due on 7/22. This presentation is due on 7/20. And then for the nursing students, you will have a student competency tracker, which you've all done before. There is guidance within this assignment, and that one's going to be due on 8/1. You will notice that these assignments are due on 7/22, which is a little bit earlier for this big thing. We are going to experience, they call it a blackout for our LMS this year on 7/24 through 8/1. And so that means that LMS will not be available. So you need to have this stuff in. If you have it in by this date, I'm just going to spend the 23rd grading like crazy, getting all that stuff in, getting it all done. And then that way you can just email me your link for those nursing students. And that way it'd be a quick way to wrap up this course. So that's just an overview of the course. If you have questions on this, of course, contact me. But otherwise, I will do a review of the course and where to find things in the other video. So, all right. I can't wait to have you in class, and this is going to be fun.